Hi guys, welcome back to our channel again. In this video, you will see how we can actually work with Selenium and Python all together to inspect the ID elements. So we'll try to figure out what is the ID elements of a particular web page or HTML page, and then we will use Selenium and Python all together to trace that element or to inspect that element. Okay, so basically what is ID, HTML ID? Let's check this first. So HTML ID, this is an attribute. We discussed in the first discussion about the HTML basic idea, understanding how HTML is working in that tutorial. So what there we discussed that there for each element there is couple of attributes also, tag attributes, this type of thing. So this ID is basically an attribute. First thing is that it's an attribute, it's not element. Okay, it's an attribute of particular element. Okay, and it specifies a unique ID for HTML element. Okay, there will be only one, it should not be double or triple, right? And this ID has couple of rules. Okay, so these rules are these four rules. So it must start with at least one character. It might be more than one character, but it should be at least one character, and there will be no space of the ID name. And then after that, it always case sensitive. That means uppercase and lowercase, it matters. Okay, and then this should be unique in the whole document. Okay, so these are the must for rules for any HTML ID attribute. So these are the notes of this tutorial. Now we will actually see how we can trace this thing, and then finally after that we will write on code to inspect the ID element using Python Selenium. So before going to the tutorial, I am requesting you, if you are new to our channel, please subscribe to our channel, and if you still didn't, please subscribe to our channel, and let's get started. So before jumping to this tutorial, I want to introduce you one thing. This is a website, myfewsteps.blogspot.com. In this website you will find all the notes, so you don't need to write in your notebook or somewhere. You can actually visit this website whenever you need. You will find all the notes are there. Whatever in the tutorial I will show you, or in the future video related to Python Selenium, all the notes will be here. You can come here and you can check. And this is the most website link, myfewsteps.blogspot.com, and over there is on tab or on link like menu. This is called testing. You just need to go testing, and in testing, this is the root page of tutorial. So here you will find Selenium with Python, and then Selenium practice. This is the link, Selenium in practice. So if you click there, then it will open this type of page. So before going to that, I'm showing you another thing. So in this testing page, you will find all the tutorial list. So this side is the description, and the videos will I produce in YouTube or somewhere, I will put all the links here. And then after that, every notes will be there. There will be note link, particular for the example of this video, there will be note. So if you click this notes, then you will access that notes thing. Suppose for we are right now in this tutorial, find element by ID. If you click notes, then it will go that note page, and there will be code link. And if you click the code link of that tutorial, I mean in this video, all the codes will be there, so you can access anytime whenever you need. Okay, and this is on important link, Selenium practice. So this page I will frequently visit, and you also will learn many things from here. This is basically a simple HTML page, and in HTML there are many links or many elements, many things actually in HTML. Most of the things which will inspect using Python Selenium altogether, you will find in this page. Okay, so for each chapter, whenever we will start some tutorial, we'll come this page, and based on this page we'll start a tutorial, and later you can apply this thing to any website based on the element type or element tags, something like that. Now let's start for the tutorial related to the HTML ID attribute. So we are in this practice page. So in this page, basically what we have to do, we have to figure out or inspect the element based on the ID. So I'm using Google Chrome browser, and I will use the Chrome developer tool to inspect this element. So to inspect this element, suppose we want to inspect this thing, first name and last name. For example, we want to inspect this first name, just this text box. Okay, so what do we have to do? We have to right click here, and then there we will find that an option that means on menu, it is called inspect. Just click there, and the Chrome developer tools will be open this side. This tool might be open this side or right side. You can also switch from here to there by clicking here. So there is some tab, the three dot, by selecting any of these thing, you can also go particular location. Suppose if we click this, it will go this dock, this panel will go right side, so it will go right side. So again, if we click this three dot and then this on, it will go, the dock will go left side. And then if we click again and then not here, basically here, this three dot, and then if we click here, it will go to the bottom. Okay, so this view is better, I feel it, because it gives us lots of options like this side and this side, everything. So I prefer this thing. But if your monitor is very big, you can also open right side, and you can, or left side, you can also inspect. Okay, so we are trying to explain the ID thing, right? ID. So here, this form, right? So here there is a on option like this, select an element in the page to inspect it. So once you click it, if it is active, then it should be like blue color, and whenever you move your cursor, it will be like this type of background. See, the background is changing, and also in this panel the code is also changing, right? See, if I put anywhere in the code, then it is highlighting that thing in this part. Okay, so let's inspect this element, like this ID. Okay, this one, this is on like text input field, first name, this is pure HTML, and we are seeing here this is the input type text and ID f name, and there is a ID. So we discussed that this is ID attribute, right? So it starts with ID, right? And after ID there is a name, f name. Okay, so in this way we can actually, in HTML, whenever we'll try to inspect an element, if there is ID, the ID should be ID, this type of thing, and then equal, and then there will be some value. Okay, so this is the ID. So now we'll use or write some Python code and Selenium code all together to inspect this ID. We'll see whether this ID is able to inspect using Selenium and Python together or not. Okay, so here by ID we are seeing this first name, right? This field or this element, this is an HTML element, right? So basically this to this is HTML element. We learned what is HTML element in that in the previous tutorial. Okay, that means the understanding HTML thing over there we understood. We learned actually what is HTML element. So this is an HTML element, and inside this element we have tag like input, and these are the attribute, right? Type text, ID, f name, name, f name. So here we will use this attribute ID, f name, but there is some other attributes, but we will not use this thing for now. For the time being, I will show you only this element. Okay, so let's start with PyCharm and then start coding. Okay, so here the ID name is f name, right? So now let's go to the PyCharm and let's start coding. So this is my PyCharm editor. So what I'm trying to do, I will create a file first. I'm selecting this project. uh, this project actually we created earlier in our video tutorial. So right click and then new, and then this will be the Python file, right? So we have to choose Python file, and then we have to type the file name. We are actually learning the ID, HTML ID, so we can type like this way, example HTML ID, for example, you can put, but I will prefer the small letter name, EXAMP example, then HTML underscore ID. Okay, and then dot py, this is a Python file. Okay, then hit enter key of your keyboard or return key if you are using Mac. Okay, then once you hit enter or return key, then you will find this type of file will be opened. Now we have to create some code to automate that ID element. Okay, we want to test whether by using a Selenium and Python altogether, whether we can inspect that element or not. So I told you previous tutorial that we will use actually we'll organize our code and then we'll start coding. Okay, so in this tutorial I will also organize my code, and then based on that we'll code. So we'll use class and the method or function, and then we'll do. So at first what we have to do, we have to import the Selenium thing, right? So we can import by typing from Selenium. So here we are saying Selenium, and then what we have to do, import WebDriver. So we imported that by using this line. Okay, then here we need to define on class, because this will do some particular task. So I'm defining a class, and class name is something like that, example example HTML ID, for example. Okay, and then after that what we have to do, we have to put a colon. Okay, then enter or return key. Okay, so all class name, it should start with capital E, not capital E, it should start with a uppercase letter. So here we use example, and then we actually use for each order like capital, like this way. Okay, but you can put your class name as you like, but the first letter should be capital or uppercase. Okay, now here define a function. So you can define a function by using the def keyword. So def keyword, and then put a name of a function. Suppose my function name is test id. Okay, and then put a parenthesis, and inside it there will be self. Okay, and then after that we have to define our code. Okay, so here we are trying to inspect that website, this practice website which I showed you, this one. Okay, so what I will do, I need to go to this page first. Okay, so this is the URL, right? So let me right click and copy. One more thing again, if you don't know how to come this page, I'm showing you again. So this is the root page of our website, HTML, my FewSteps.blogspot.com, and then come testing, and then this is the link. Click there and it will open this testing page. Okay, so just select whole thing and then right click, copy. So I'm copying this URL. Okay, then I'm going to my Python editor. Then at first define a variable like base URL, and then inside it we can put the variable one like this. Okay, and then after that what we have to do, we have to define the driver, right? So we can create a variable driver. This is driver, and we have to create an object of Chrome. Okay, we will use Chrome, but if you wish you can also use Firefox, some other browser, but you have to use that driver. Okay, so I'm using Chrome, so I will use Chrome driver. So I'm using WebDriver dot, I'm creating the instance of Chrome, and then Chrome, this is Chrome, and then after that we have to put the location of the file, right? The driver location is here, right? Driver is this one. So we can put executable path, this executable path, and then we can define the path. So here the path is dot. Basically if we press two dot, then it will go at the top, and then after the driver slash driver, then after that we have to use Chrome driver. Okay, so this is the whole path. This thing we actually learned in our previous tutorials when we actually installed Selenium, and how we can use Selenium, like that type of tutorial. Okay, so this part is done. Okay, so there is on warning like this, because we have to actually put another space so that this warning will go. Okay, and here there is some other warning. Okay, we'll come those things later. Okay, so now this part is clear. So there is a method or function, and we define base URL, and then we created an object of Chrome. Then what we have to do, we have to open browser. Okay, so how can we open? We can open by using get method. So this is the get method, and inside that we have to put this base URL. Okay, then it will open, and it will open that website. Okay, so in this way we can open. Then after that let me close this thing first. So for example, this is the basic structure, right? And then what we have to do, if you want to use this thing, we have to create on object, right? So suppose we can use Chrome driver, CHRDR, suppose like this, Chrome driver, or CD, Chrome driver. For in short we put type CD equal to, then we have to call this class, right? So example HTML ID, this one, and then there will be on parenthesis, and then after that cd dot test id, right? This thing, or you can put your own function name. Okay, so in this way you can do. But now what we are planning to do, where we will actually inspect that element. So how can we inspect that element? We can inspect this element from this website which saw. So right click, and then we will find this type of code, and then if you highlight this thing, this will be like bluish color. If you click there, then this will be active, and then choose this element. Suppose we want to inspect this element, and here the input, the id name is fname. Okay, so here id name is fname. So let me copy, right click, copy. I copied the id name. Okay, and in Selenium, to inspect, to write some code to inspect that element, we have to use element by id, this method. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to call driver dot, then if I type find Okay, then you'll find several of type of things like find element by class name, css, id, so many things. We'll learn all of them, but for this tutorial we will learn only find element by id, this one. Okay, so we have to choose this one because we have the id. Okay, so I'm going to click there and it will come here, and inside it we have to put the id name. The id name is, which I copied, is f name, right? So from here we are seeing the id name is f name, right? So we copied this thing and we just put it there, here. Okay, so driver dot find element by id, and it is a string, that's why I put it like this way. Okay, so in this way we can define, and then what we have to do, we have to check whether I'm getting this thing or not. So we can check by putting some expression like if, then we can check whether that element is there or not. So to check this thing, let's define this whole thing in a variable, like the variable name is like element id. Okay, I just put a variable name element id, and then we are checking whether element id is not none, that means it's present there, right? Then what we can do, we can type print, just to print in the console whether it is working or not. Okay, to check. So we can check like found id element, and if you want to check the id, what the id it looks, you can also do by this line print, then we can put the id name, element id. So here we can put the element id. Okay, so that's all. So here what we did, we actually imported first Selenium and WebDriver, and after that we created a class. This is the class, and inside the class we created one method or function. Okay, and then we use this thing. In this way we actually created, and there are a couple of warnings. If we right click, if you click here, then it will visible, and then you can actually do this, ignore errors like this, it will ignore. And there is another warning, you can click make function method, also you can ignore this thing. Okay, make method static. Okay, we'll come those things later. Okay, for now it's enough. Okay, now let's run this thing. So we can run two ways. We can press this triangle, or we can right click and then run example HTML id. So we will use this thing, just run it, and it will open the browser. We'll see very soon. So it is executing, this is opening the browser now, and once it's open, it goes to the page, and then it exit. So here we are seeing that exit is 0, that means there is no error, but the Chrome browser, it closed. Okay, so let me do one thing, let me show you something like we can put some wait time, like time dot sleep method. So basically we need to import time, so we can import time, but it's not required. I'm showing you just to show you whether this is really opening that thing or not. And then we can type sleep, and then we can put like 50 seconds for example. Okay, so that it will not close. We discussed this thing, why the browser is closing, right? For Google Chrome, in Selenium or in Python, when it finished executing of the all the code, then it destroys the Chrome driver or Chrome browser. Okay, that's why it was closing. So now it will not close, it will wait 50 seconds, and then after that it will close. Okay, but it's not required right now, just to show you whether it is working or not. So let me run again. So right click and then run example HTML id. Now it will start running the browser, and it is going to that page, and after that it is trying to inspect this element. And if we go to the console, so here is the console, right? So here it is showing that found id element, right? And then this is the id details, right? Complete details, that means this id details, this is the id it found. That's why is showing this f name, right? That means it found, and then it is printing the whole id. This is on object. Basically right now we will not discuss this thing will come later. Okay, so by using this video, what we saw, that it is able to run this code by using the id thing. Okay, find element by id, we use this function to inspect the id element, and in this way, using Selenium and Python altogether, we can find the id from the web page, and we can inspect that element. Okay, and now 50 seconds is over, that's why browser closed. So the browser closed because it cost 50 seconds. Okay, so if we open this run thing, then we'll find another line, right? process finished with exit code 0. If there is 0, that means there is no error. So in this way, I believe hopefully by watching this video, how we can actually use find element by id, or that means how we can inspect the HTML id things by using Selenium and Python together. And I also discussed the details about the id thing. So if you go this testing, and then if you go to the note section, then you will find those details. So here are details, what is the HTML ID, and we defined or explained all the characteristics of this ID. And finally, we used this Python PyCharm editor to automate that thing. So hopefully guys, this video is pretty much clear to you, that we can use find element by ID to inspect that element. And in the next video, we'll see more about this ID details, like dynamic IDs. We'll try to explain what is that and what are the difference between static ID and dynamic ID. So for this tutorial, that's all. Hopefully by watching this video, you're pretty clear about HTML ID and how we can use Selenium and Python together to inspect the ID element or to capture the ID element from web page. And if you feel this video is useful for you, you can share this with your friends, and also hit the like button, and also subscribe to our channel. If you still didn't subscribe, please subscribe. Thank you for watching. In the next video, we'll see some other ID. Those are dynamic IDs. Here we actually discussed only static IDs. In the next video, we'll see about dynamic IDs, and then you will learn more things about ID. So thank you for now. See you on the next video.